Hello, YouTubers, friends, compatriots, bootlickers, shills, dead slaves, artists, peasants, vassals, minions, Ukrainian tubers. I'm a useful idiot. Welcome. And today I want to talk about Ukraine again. And it's pretty unusual for me to do a series on a single event like this one, where I've done several videos about events unfolding in the Ukraine. I generally like to do a topic, cover it, and move on. But of course, this has been a series of interesting events unfolding very quickly, and a fascinating thing to watch. As one of my regulars, one of my favorite YouTubers, described recently, it's so interesting to be able to live vicariously through this revolution because the footage is so up close and personal. It's almost like being there. And what an odd sensation to be able to participate in this odd way in this revolution in the Ukraine. And I feel comfortable at this point characterizing it, at least for the time being, as a revolution, as it turns out. It would have been anybody's guess of the day before or the day before yesterday, but now it's pretty safe to say this is a revolution, at least for the time being. And so let's look at the events that have unfolded now. So after the day of violence, all of a sudden we have President Yanukovych fleeing, Parliament not only stripping him of his powers and impeaching him and getting rid of certain key positions of Yanukovych cronies, but also now issuing a warrant for his arrest. And they applauded themselves when they did this. So there's an interesting amount of unity going on here in this peaceful, or what's turning into, at least for now, a post-peaceful, post-revolution peace. And even the images are striking of them seeing their palace of Yanukovych for the first time, and people just milling through it. And no one is really taking out their anger. There's no looting going on. So it's an interesting scenario, and he speaks much character of the Ukrainian people. And they shouldn't really be surprised that their oligarchs live in that kind of fashion. Oligarchs all over the world, including the United States, essentially live that way. So there should be no surprises there. But certainly opulent by any standards. And so now what we're left with is this tug of war going on between the Eurozone and the United States and Russia. And Russia is certainly making it known that they have interest there, and will be protecting Russian interests there. And so that's a fairly provocative element that's going on in the Ukraine right now. Should there be any anti-Russian activities, there may be justification for Russia to step up any kind of involvement in Ukraine, especially in an area like, say, Crimea, that's even talking about secession, as well as the western part of Ukraine talking about secession. So those talks about splitting up the country or creating some sort of federation are certainly being talked about, some sort of Yugoslavian sort of situation. But as I said before, that is also anybody's guess. It looks, for now at least, that the possibility of civil war has been diffused. The military are not going to get involved. Yanukovych has been stripped of his powers and therefore cannot direct the military to take any action. And there was a lot of question about what allegiance the Ukrainian military would have anyway. Some were suggesting they would not get involved in putting down the protesters. And now, interestingly enough, all the police have disappeared, and many of them are supporting the protesters. So this seems like a complete transition. And then we have Prime Minister Yushchenko being released from prison, and she is a major figure and fairly questionable in her own right. She does have connections with becoming a energy, natural gas billionaire in the privatization of assets in Ukraine. But she was a galvanizing figure in the 2004 Orange Revolution, and continues to be a galvanizing figure now. So she's being used, I think, to fill up the vacuum until things get sorted out. So once again, even though it looks right now like we have a very successful revolution at hand, and we have, of course, the United States now offering all kinds of financial aid of all manner, and that's what money talks. And Ukraine, should they be moving towards the Eurozone, will find themselves in the arms of grateful victors in this struggle. So Ukraine, it's like I say, I'm still holding my bets about whether the revolution has been successful, because there's still a lot to come, and should there be any further struggles between the pro-Russian elements in Ukraine and the pro-Eurozone elements in the Ukraine, then a new dynamic can come in place. For example, if any Russian citizens or Russian interests are challenged, or Russian citizens shot, for example, in any continuing struggles in Ukraine, then things could get escalated. But right now, it's safe to say let's enjoy this moment for the Ukrainian people of what apparently looks like, at least for the time being, a very surprising and very successful revolution. I'm Useful Idiot. Don't you be one too.